call this meeting of the Stormwater Board for November 24th, 2025 to order. First call of order will be the roll call. Drew, we'll start with you.
Drew Fleming, Town Engineer.
Lee McClellan, Board Member.
Jerry Brasher, Board Member.
Chris Wisher, Town Attorney.
Steve Shoemaker, Town Council Liaison.
Deputy Town Manager Andrea Balboni.
Chris Cook, Town Manager.
Okay, thank you. First will be our reading corrections and approval of previous minutes. The first one is the Stormwater Board meeting from September 23rd, 2024. Since neither Jerry nor I were here, can we go ahead and approve that?
You can approve them.
Okay.
Can we do all of them at once, or do we
I have
have
some
to do individual?
corrections.
Oh, you do?
To some of the other ones.
Okay, all right. Well, I make a motion that we approve the September 23rd, 2024 minutes as provided to us.
And I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Next is the approval of the October 28th, 2024 minutes. I do have a couple corrections to those minutes. The first one is under roll call. Steve Shoemaker should be listed as the Town of Newburgh liaison rather than board member. And then on page 5 of 12, down under Driftwood South Park PUD, the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth sentence from the bottom says, McClellan said that his biggest concern is the bedding in copper. That should read, McClellan said that his biggest concern is the bedding, backfill, and compaction, because we were talking about plastic pipe. And then my other question is, and this maybe Drew can answer this one. This is on page 6 of 12, and it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12th sentence down, it says clearance for the proposed levy. I don't understand what the levy has to do with that. Or what it was pertaining to, because it,
I mean, I can go back and read them, so just so you know, we were behind on stormwater, when Riley came in, she went back and kind of listened to some of them. And
Sure.
just catching up,
sure.
so,
So,
I can always go back and listen,
Okay.
and we can put this one on hold if you want.
no, I'm fine with going ahead and approving it with those corrections made.
Okay. And I'll go back and maybe, not correct it, but maybe
Okay.
add more content
Okay.
to what that was talking about.
Do we have a second to that corrections, Jerry?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. The next one is the approval of the minutes from January 27th, 2025. And my only comment here again is under the roll call is Steve Shoemaker is the Town of Newburgh liaison. Do I have a motion to approve that correction?
I make a motion to make that correction to January 27th,
And I
2025.
second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then the last one is the approval of the May 27th, 2025 minutes. Here again, same comment, Steve Shoemaker is the Town of Newburgh liaison. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to make that correction.
I'll
and
second
approve.
that. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Rather than getting into our reports, particularly with the town engineer, maybe having some things presented to us, would we like to hear from the people present?
If you do the Town Council Liaison, I think I can introduce the people who are present.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me do two things. One is, before I do that, we're one member short, as we have known for quite a while, and I've talked to Bill Griesbacher was a plant manager and he's retired now, was a plant manager and a local, an internal engineer for a company in Wisconsin and now lives on Water Street. And I've talked to him about the position, and he's showing interest in it. He couldn't be here tonight because he's in Florida for Thanksgiving. But I was gonna ask Wish, would it be proper to have this body recommend him to the council for approval based on him giving a thumbs up that he's gonna do it, so we don't have to wait through too many meetings to do that?
Yes.
That would be okay.
So if that was the case, then I would suggest that we make a recommendation to town council to approve Bill Griesbacher for the third member of this board.
What was his last name?
I'll spell it for you. It's Griesbacher.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely need a third member
Yeah,
so that we can
yeah.
continue to have productive
Can
board
I
meetings.
ask, did he work at Alcoa?
I don't believe he ever did.
Because I knew a Griesbacher that I think worked for Alcoa, and I thought his name was Bill, so I'm wondering if it was the same
Well,
one.
it could be,
beside
it
the
could be
point,
his
but-
family, because he has family, they were in Wisconsin for work purposes and moved back here because that's where their family originally
It
was
could be
from,
then.
so.
Okay, might be a
But
relative.
a solid guy, a very technical mind, and I think even though he was not a civil engineer, I think he would do a good job on this group.
Great. I agree.
Do one of you wanna make the recommendation?
So one of you, I guess we need, Steve was suggesting it as a recommendation from this board, so one of you could make a motion to make that recommendation and then approve it, and then it'll go to council.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we make an approval to the, or recommendation to the council for approval of Bill Griesbacher as third member of the Stormwater Board.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, now I can turn to our guests that are out here right now. In the blue sweatshirt is Goran, and I'm gonna butcher your last name, Palager? Okay. And he is a student at Signature School, I thought, that was right. And very interested in stormwater and drainage, and has reached out to me a couple times to talk about maybe doing a Eagle Scout project that he's interested in talking to us about. And I suggested that he come to the meeting today and maybe have a chance to talk to Lee and that guy, Drew, who are both engineers and might be able to give you some guidance on your project. But we are glad to have you here, and you're always welcome to come, and you're always welcome to be a part of what we try to do here. So we're glad to have you, and hopefully we can work something out where you can do some projects and enjoy yourself while you're here.
Thank you.
You have anything you'd like to say?
No, I was just here for ideas.
Okay,
I'm just open to ideas.
okay.
Chris, are we gonna need some mapping? Do we need a summer intern? Maybe some help for some boots on the ground?
Yes.
I don't know, we may need, get you recruited up. You can start this summer, I believe.
Sounds wonderful.
Good deal. Well, and that's all
Okay.
that I had regarding the town council liaison.
Okay. Town engineer, Drew?
Yes, we got, for project updates here, I got Driftwood, got the plans, we can go over those first, since we're got town council meeting come up, just in case we run out of time. So I've provided these to, the team, and the thought process was to, before we moved into land acquisition and permit phase, I just wanted to make sure the team here is on board with the improvements proposed. It's what was discussed with the manhole drop structure. We've skewed the outfall structure, one, to miss the very large cottonwood tree down there, and to avoid where that bank is slipping. So we're getting a little bit more stable soil conditions. We have a head wall structure that does have energy dissipators within it, and also has a flap gate. It is below the Ohio River level, so it would eliminate any material debris getting sucked in as the river levels come up. And we've extended the Fleximat. It's the tied concrete anchor block system that goes across the ditch, so we do not create additional erosion on the Mulzer crushed stone property. We also have extra riprap to be installed where erosion is taking place at this point. We estimate about 60 tons there. The work would entail small equipment tracking in between the residential homes. There is a 20-foot wide easement there. We'd have to make some repairs, by some downspouts and restoration. But that's generally the idea here. Also, I did create a small berm. You can see there in the profile. It'd be a weir, but the intent is anything that does come through the smaller flows from like the downspouts would go into the structure instead of going over the top of the embankment to try to keep that embankment from being saturated. But then during those major storm events where it does engage as a spillway structure, it would just go over top of it.
Drew, before Lee makes comments, because I know he's gonna have more than I do, I like the design. I mean, it's exactly what they need there, I think. Given all the problems that they've had, it's what we talked about in the field, and I like it. I think it looks really good. One thing, the only question I would have at the moment is, who will keep this outlet, or this inlet cleaned? Like right now, there's tons of leaves everywhere. Who would be responsible for making sure that that stays clean so that the flows can not overtop that?
Yeah, that would be town personnel would have to. With the structure, there's a couple options we can do with the grading. We could put a larger, like an E7 one you've seen on the state highways. It's a 30 by 30 concave up shaped. It does help, that way if there is some leaves, this gives it a larger surface area. We could include the, call them the milk stools, that has the opening, like a 4-inch opening. I know we've received a lot of complaints on that one in recent times, but this one is in the backyard areas, and I would probably recommend using that to allow the smaller leaves to pass through there.
Okay, that would be good, because I'd hate to see water stand in that ditch there in between the houses, so. But I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think a milk stool would be warranted there, because I don't think that they're gonna be able to get back there and keep any grate type clean.
Be difficult.
My concern is the ability to get all the material back down through there when we've got only a 22-foot easement, of which there's already a sidewalk and a retaining wall that's encroaching within that easement. You got two structures, appears to be basically about 24 feet apart, that are 5 to 6 foot higher than the flow line of the ditch. And I think you're gonna need a pretty good size hoe back there to reach down for a 13-foot manhole and be able to not only excavate, but I don't know where he's gonna put the excavated material when he tries to dig for this manhole and this 35-foot of pipe, where he's gonna store his dirt. He's basically got a postage-sized stamp area to work in back there on top of the bank.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering if it can even be done from coming off of Driftwood Lane, because I certainly wouldn't want to put the town in any type of jeopardy of having structural failures in either of those two homes or that retaining wall. Because that retaining wall has got a pretty good wave in it already. And we don't know how it was constructed, whether it's tied back or not. Is there any chance that we can come in from the Mulzer side?
I think the first step is I have met with the contractor to preliminary discuss this conceptually. I think the next step is, I'll just, talk to the contractor again and just say, is this, reasonable, given the situation with the equipment? They're the experts with the equipment, getting
Right.
it back there. From what I was told previously, they didn't have those concerns, but they didn't have the actual depths, we were talking about.
Okay,
So I can certainly reach out to contractors and gauge ideas if they need access from Mulzers, or if they can get it all from the side of the Driftwood subdivision. There is a flat berm down there with very limited trees that was ideal on the south side, where I thought some materials could be temporarily stored and piled there until
Okay.
such time it can be placed right back into the trench.
if he
But
can
very
reach it,
valid,
if he
yeah.
can reach it.
Yeah, very valid. I mean, I'll reach out to contractors. I think they're the experts, and then I can relay the information
Right.
back.
Who's the
Uh,
contractor again?
I've talked to Sam and BBI on both, on
Okay.
these projects previously. I mean, this dates back already a couple of years ago, I believe. So I can reach right back out to them and see what their thoughts are.
Okay. One of my questions about the, I think it's really more a cast-in-place head wall rather than a precast.
Mhm.
That's gonna be cast in place?
Oh, right now I got it precast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are the energy dissipators, how are they tied to the bottom slab? Or they got stirrups in them?
Yeah, they're precast with reinforcement that
Okay.
goes down. I
Okay.
think it's like a.
Because there was just a note in there that said reinforcement would be
Something like that.
12 by 12.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
as long as there's some type of stirrup in
Yeah,
there.
they're all precast.
Okay,
gray
yeah, I
ST
think that's a good
and
idea, get with the contractor, because he's gonna have that excavation, plus he's gonna have to get a trench box down in there for the safety of his
Yeah,
workers,
sure.
and see if he can come in, even come in off of Driftwood.
Yeah, and if we need to make a little bit of some shifts and whatnot, we can certainly do so. If we have to bump it up, of course, there's a pros and cons. If you bump it up, then you're building it up and you're adding, you're going up on the slope, right? Which is not what we want.
No,
And we want to keep the water off of it, so it's a give and take. It's a delicate balance with, like you said, the equipment, constructability, cost, and what you're trying to accomplish for the long term. But,
okay,
yep, good
okay,
question.
good, okay.
It's a shame we're having to deal with it completely.
It is.
Yes,
Yeah,
because this won't be cheap.
no, it's unfortunate that it falls back on us, but.
Okay, Drew, next item?
Do you want, if I follow up with an email and pending how what the contractor says, I can relay the information back? And if everything appears suitable, or if I need to make adjustments that say, hey, we
Okay.
need to come from Mulzer's side, if I expand that easement, are you, everybody good with me moving forward with seeking permits and easements then from that standpoint?
Yes.
Okay.
Carrie, you okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Okay, so that's that Driftwood, because that's a bond project, so I wanna make sure to keep that one moving forward, and permits does take a little bit of time, and land acquisition, but Mulzer's was we had a really good meeting with them, so, I feel comfortable with what we proposed, as long as we're reasonable, they won't have an issue. Here's some. Pass these down.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the updated project priority tracking list. I'll just give some quick updates where the stormwater is involved. Ellerbush Road reconstruction project. That project is in preliminary design. Utility coordination efforts are about to go out. And with utility coordination is also land acquisition, so we're reaching that phase where we're about the same phase as Driftwood here. Moving that project forward, there's drainage components that would help the west ditch. So that ditch would be completely encapsulated on Ellerbush. A lot of the road problems are stemming from the lack of drainage on that facility. The intent right now is to seek CCMG funds for phase one. So the project's been broken out into phases due to cost. Phase one goes up to Southgate from State Road 662. 2020.
And that's the two differences in the construction cost?
Yes.
Over here in this one item, you've got a phase one and a phase two.
Yes, and I need to see if those have been updated. I don't know when that, I need to double check that. Since we've last met, CCMG, it's been a long time, I don't remember when we met, September. Trying to think here, May 27th, so, CCMG projects, the 2024 Madison Street, 2nd Street, Orchard Lane, that project is complete. And item 1A10, the Plum Street project, essentially from just south of the Pet Food Center to the Water Street, has drainage elements and be a complete street reconstruction. That has been applied for in October, and I've been told by the end of December they should make an announcement for the CCMG fund. So that's a big project with large elements that are associated with stormwater. That also includes a spur off Water Street to help some residents that have had flooding within their homes and garages there.
Does that have a cost estimate?
Yeah, I think the total project's about $2.5 million, and that includes the sanitary sewer work, and the town's civil part is about 1.7, 1.8, I believe, in that ballpark.
And then, just so you guys know, part of that funding, our match came out of that 2024 bond that we issued, so they put money aside for that Plum Street match, as well as Elder Bush as well.
Yep, so there'll be CCMG funds that's tied to it, up to $1 million, and then the rest would be covered by the town's civil bond.
Yeah, it cost us $500,000 to wait a year.
They changed the CCMG dollar amounts, the maximum from $1.5 million to $1 million, so that was a $500,000 difference plus inflation costs, so, yeah, that was a huge, huge hit by the town.
To the town.
Just going through the list here, the old projects, I know it's the master plan. Chris, did you want to talk about the potential
Yeah, we can,
other funding opportunity?
a couple quick words, if you want me to.
Yeah.
We found an opportunity to go after some Okra funding for some stormwater projects, and I forget the exact census tract, but it's bounded by Sharon Road, State Street, Jennings, and,
Almost Westerville, right?
no,
Hillcrest.
Hillcrest. So like that census tract qualifies for Okra stormwater funding. So Drew and I met with the grant administrator, Friday, and we're gonna go after some of these opportunities, hopefully in '26, to get some money from Okra to go towards some future stormwater projects in those areas. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're identifying some projects to kind of put together a package. We can get up to $750,000 from the state, if our grant, application is received well. So we're starting the discussions of what those projects look like, and, kind of figuring out the financial side. Essentially, it turns what we need to do into a buy one, get one free opportunity. When you think about some of the work that we need to do in that area, if we can maximize the grant application and find the funding on the town side to make our application look better when it's competing against others in the state, and say we do get it, work that needs to be done. We just gotta cobble together the right, mix of projects, and we'll keep the board informed as we make progress on that. But we met with our Okra rep, Riley and I did, a couple months ago, and then we started having conversations after we confirmed with, Commonwealth, to have a couple set of eyes look at it, because we didn't believe that that track kind of qualified, but we've had 3 or 4 different eyes look at it now, and the state kind of said, yeah, it qualifies, so we're gonna go after that money, you know, I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
And we're trying, the grant administrator, even though the 3rd Street and Polk Street, the large culvert does not fall within the census tract, he believes since it's adjacent and contiguous to it, that it may qualify within that income survey limits, but he's checking with Okra as we speak, should be this week, if they're not all out of office this week, but should have some additional information, which if that doesn't come through with the FEMA funds, then this would be another opportunity to, like Chris said, get the buy one, get one.
I mean, we've got to do the big pipe, you know, on Polk Street, that's close to $750 to $1 million. But if you're gonna do that project, you might as well file for a grant to get $750,000 for free that you can apply to several other grants.
And honestly, I don't think that FEMA funding's gonna come through.
You don't?
We don't. We don't have enough information to show the condition of that pipe really before the flooding. You know what I mean? It's like, or we don't have enough, am I saying that right, Drew? I mean, they want videos and details of it, you know, how often we were inspecting it, how often are you cleaning it, how are you doing all these things, right? Which we can show some of that, but for it to say this took place specifically because of this flood, that we couldn't prove.
Okay.
So I don't think that part, I think all the other stuff we applied for as far as the funding is gonna come through, but I think that pipe might be better. I don't think it will.
They essentially wanted a CCTV video footage of before and after, immediately when it took place. Well, they didn't have that information
They don't have
exactly
that, okay.
before available to us, so that's kind of pitfall, but those are the items we're working on. I will say too, Yorkshire and Phelps, we do have preliminary plans for that, and Town Crews actually completes a pothole investigation work. There's a lot of utilities that run up through that corridor, and of course we hit them right smack in the middle, probably where a proposed storm sewer is gonna go. So we'll have to make some revisions, and then I can get back to the board on the status there. So that project is moving forward. Try to hit some more highlights here. The rest of them will be covered underneath other items of business here. Does anybody else have any other questions for me in regards to the project priority list? Okay.
You guys can always look it over. I know we have a meeting at 5:30, so if you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Drew, and we can answer as we go through.
Okay. Did you cover project updates? Under here? Okay.
that was it.
Chris, do you have anything?
I don't.
Okay. Staff, Andrea?
So I'll kind of do staff and the MS4 updates. This here is Riley Jones. She's in the audience. If you guys want to meet Riley, she's over there. She's a new director of planning and zoning. So she's going to get more and more and more involved in all this fun stuff. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update. As you know, we went through our MS4 audit. We came out pretty unscathed. The only issue we had was our tracking, which we kind of knew ahead of time was lacking a little bit. But we have a new software program that council approved. So that's going to help us be able to track all our stormwater complaints, code enforcement, wastewater is going to be using it. It's going to be all kinds of stuff, right? It's a huge system for us. So once we get that up and going, we'll have better tracking of our stormwater. I went to the MS4 workshops. It was really, really good. And then Chris and I went to some MS4 stuff at the AIM Summit. So it was good to hear, this was kind of MS4 and how they relate it to elected officials and the public, and it was a good workshop on that end. And then about 9 of us last week just went through IDEE training for, was it 3.5 hours? So we had all the street there, we had some wastewater people there, Chris and I, Riley was there, our building inspector was there, so it was a good 3.5 hour training, and just what to detect and all the forms and everything that goes along with it. So as of this year alone, I have over 17 hours of MS4 training. Chris has got a big number, I haven't added his up yet, but we're clicking off those, requirements that are coming up. When Drew was talking about the tracking and the mapping that we need updated, so we have paper maps of our stormwater system. Ideally, it'd be great to have an GIS. So we're kind of working with wastewater. Riley has GIS background. So we're gonna take a lot of those paper maps and convert it over to the digital mapping, which is where kind of, eventually walking it and making sure everything is where it is. So we need a lot of that updated by December of 2026 for the new MS4 permit.
We met last Friday to kind of go over the GIS stuff in-house, to see what we're doing, and we're also talking to a third party about what some gap fillers would be and what it would cost to kind of help get our maps jump-started. So we're gonna try to do what we can in-house, but we're also looking for pricing from a couple vendors on what it looks like if we can't get it all done, how much it's gonna cost us to get a third party in to kind of get us up to speed.
Okay,
Sorry.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
But
Okay.
we've done a great job as far as training with Andrew's group, and we're trying to get everything lined up. That being a part of that regional MS4 group has really helped us this past year, and they're the ones that put on the training in Chandler last week, where there were 10 different MS4s represented from roughly Jasper to Washington to Vincennes down to here. So we're really attending those meetings as well. They meet every month and doing these opportunities. A training that would have cost us thousands cost us $325.
good.
So, I mean, it's a cost savings too when you group with the team up with everybody else like
Okay.
that.
Do you have anything else, Chris?
I know, she said it all.
Okay. Down under new business.
You want to take the lead on this, Drew? I don't know too much.
Yeah, so there's a property owner at 116 Adams Street who's requested to replace an existing retaining wall. I think it was an old stone wall, if I recall. He's looking to replace it with a wooden wall with treated post. It's no greater than 30 inches, so it's a very short retaining wall from that standpoint. He was looking just to replace it exactly in kind. The only difference is instead of being 2 foot from the existing street, we've gotten him to move it off 5 foot from the edge of the street, which we believe is roughly the approximate right-of-way. And he has had a surveyor. I did contact the gentleman here, our team did. Like you said, it was kind of hard to follow with all the information here, and the information was not clear with the writing. But in essence, as my notes from the meeting, and I think I did send this out to everybody, I did have a surveyor come out, verify the property line, did mark the retaining wall location. He met with his property owner to the south and was agreeable to the placement. The elevation and backfill, there will be a river run rock and filter fabric and a small pipe that would be run to ensure there's adequate drainage behind the wall. But the existing grade is going to remain as is. You can see with the big picture back there, there's a large retaining wall from the
Yes.
properties. It actually stops well short of that
Okay.
retaining wall. You can see where the chalk his line goes in the picture I sent you guys. I think it's here, if you can see the string line, so it goes to this, this point, so it's I don't know if it's 10, 15 foot away from that concrete retaining wall
Yeah.
structure. Let's see. I think that those are the main details here. So as far as the drainage element, it's essentially the same as it was previously.
Did he have a pipe in there before?
I'm not 100% sure if there was an old
Okay.
pipe in there. If it is, it's from so old ago, but
So is it a solid wall pipe or a perforated pipe?
well, corrugated pipe should be perforated if he's got that river run gravel.
That's what I was thinking, that it would be perforated, but I couldn't tell from his notes.
Yeah, I'm looking for that exact comment. I guess I presumed it was gonna be a perforated pipe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Should
it
be
says
perforated.
perforated pipe.
Okay,
That's okay.
did you find it, Jerry?
Yeah, I think it's on that last page, the last written page, about halfway down, 2 black perforated pipes
Yep, there it is.
laid in
Okay,
a
I
trench
see it.
50
Yep.
Yeah.
foot long.
Okay. Well, I make a motion that we approve the installation of the drainage pipes
I second.
for the request.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Do we have any announcements? Any petitions or comments from citizens present? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion that we adjourn the Stormwater Board meeting.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thanks, guys. Are we being recorded? We're still being recorded.